Welcome to Lorenzo Motoring. Today we'll be reviewing 2009 Ford Fiesta Econetic. So in 2008 Ford had redesigned their Fiesta lineup. They've gone for a more bubble shape of a car that tapers off at the back, sort of like a teardrop. Looks really nice. Sort of prefer the boxy design of the previous gen. It's got all new lights, bumpers, wheels and tyres. Yeah, just a great little car. It's in the Fiesta. Here we have 209 litres of boot space, nice wide opening. The seats do fold down 60-40. The only downside with here is that the backs of the seats are just exposed metal. And there is a space for a full-size spare wheel. Side is that there's a huge loaded lip. Here there's no false floor. Move on to the back seats of the Fiesta. So once we're in here, there's lots of headroom thanks to the bubble shaped roofline. There's knee room, there's lots of toe room. The seats are up quite high. There's lots of adjustment in the seats, so you can easily increase this legroom without compromising the other passengers too much. The seats are made of a nice cloth material, nice durable, actually nice and comfy actually. You can sit 3 people quite comfortably. There's no centre armrest, and you have wind down windows at the back. So let's hop into the driver's seat of the Fiesta. Opening these quite heavy doors actually. And you can climb in. Nice driving position. You've got reach adjustment in the steering wheel as well as tilt, so it's easy to find a good driving position. The steering wheel is leather wrapped. It's quite hard, but it's got some controls on it too, like the radio and the cruise control. Got the same cloth material in the front seats as well, with some bolstering. It's not too aggressive, but it's nice for a city car. So some of the other features in this car include power front windows. The back is wind up and down windows. The stalks behind the steering wheel, they're quite confusing with buttons on them rather than some dials. It's got some dials on it, but it's just very confusing for first time users. You got the light controls here and also the brightness of the headlights, which is actually quite nice actually to have that nice and simple. It's time to take this car for a drive. It starts right up. First impressions, the ride is really smooth, irons out all these bumps. Just off the 5-speed manual box is the only thing you can get on the Econetic, is that to increase the efficiency. So this car has a claimed fuel consumption of 3.7 litres per 100, which is amazing. It's the only non-hybrid car that can get below 4 litres per 100 on the combined cycle. And this 5-speed manual gearbox is really nice to use. It's got short throws. It's very nice to use. You can know what gear you're in. In terms of the pedals, the clutch is a little bit heavy first up. But it's easy to get used to. I'm already used to it, and I've only been driving this car for 20 minutes. Even though this car is the sport model, the efficient model, it handles the corners really, really well. This diesel engine produces 66 kilowatts and 200 newton meters of torque. And those might sound like low power numbers, but the torque is the main attribute of this car. It pulls really nicely and cleanly. Gearing is really direct, like it just goes wherever you want it to go. A lot of feedback through the wheel. Feel where the car is being placed on the road. There's It's got a nice little shift light that comes on to tell you to change gears at 2000 RPM to get the most fuel economy. Being a city car, you might expect it not to handle the bumps all that well, considering it only weighs 1,080 kilos, but it irons out the bumps nicely. I have to say it's one of the nicest hatchbacks I've driven, and on the bonus side it's really efficient. Got a sporty drive without any of the sporty drawbacks. It's got a nice ride, the seats are nice, the steering is really direct, and it's also really quiet too for a diesel. So my overall verdict for the Fiesta Econetic is that it's a really compact city car. To pick two drawbacks with this car, it'll have to be all these buttons on the dash, the hard plastics, and the brake pedal has a deep throw to it, so they've got to push it more than halfway for it to do anything. But other than that, it's a really fun little city car. It costs nothing to run. Everyone can enjoy it because it's nice and comfortable. Perks, I guess, lots of space, large boot, nice comfortable ride. So I would say well done Ford, and anyone who's looking for a city car that's really efficient but also is nice to drive, you can't really go past the Fiesta. If I had to pick one downside of the interior sort of driving experience, would have to be buttons and the little screen. That's one of the only things that stopped me buying this car over a Suzuki Swift, is that the interior controls and stuff is not as nice. But if you can go past that, it's a fun little car. Only costs I think $15,500 when it was new. Enjoyed the review of the 2009 Ford Fiesta Econetic.